Hi everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make this adorable piece of wall art to decorate your house for the holidays. This project can be done with children ages 4 and up. The first thing you're going to need is a piece of foam core. This measures 14 by 6. I got it for free at a frame shop. All of you should be taking advantage of that resource for free materials. You can go in and ask for any mat board scraps that they may have or some foam core. Another thing I got for free is some stir sticks, which I've glued to the back of this piece of foam core, which gives it a little more strength, which I'll explain why that's necessary in a little bit. The next thing you're going to need are some squares of tissue paper. You can also use some Christmas napkins. You can pre-cut these into squares for your child, roughly 2 or 3 inches square. You're also going to need some little white tags. These are for the letters, and what I used for these are, I had some extra large letter stamps to spell out the word peace. You could also just print out some letters and cut them and glue them onto your tags. That would work just as well. You're going to need some double pointed tacks. I don't know if you all can see this. These are basically like a U-shaped nail, and it's got 2 pointy tips on the end, and I'll show you what this is for in a minute. You're going to need some little bits of ribbon and string and embroidery floss. This is optional. I have some red and green colored pieces of cardstock. You may want to use this. And I also have some red and white buttons. I have some sequins and some snowflakes. This is kind of the finishing touch. What we're going to use to put our tissue paper on is this really cool product. You may not have heard of it, but once you've tried it, you'll be hooked. It's called Mod Podge. And we're going to use this to glue on our tissue paper pieces on here. And this is really a fantastic product. And I have some opalescent ultra fine glitter that I have put in a squeeze bottle, which is the perfect dispenser, especially if you're working with young children. I have white glue and glue stick. All right, to get started, you may have to demonstrate this for your child. What you do is you're just going to take some of this Mod Podge on a brush, and you're going to brush an area. Just work in small areas. You're going to just lay the tissue paper down, and then you're going to put Mod Podge on top. So this is acting both as the glue and a sealer. You have to sort of tell your child that this needs to go down first, and then it needs to go down on top. The younger the artist, the less coverage you'll have, but that is absolutely fine. Now there's one little thing that you may want to encourage your child to do, is to wrap a piece of tissue paper around off the front, around the side to the back. If you can get him to do that in just a few places, that would be great. If not, don't even worry about it. So what I've done is I've put Mod Podge here on the front, I've put it here on the edge, and a little on the back. So I've stuck it here, and then with my brush, with a little more Mod Podge on it, I'm just going to go ahead and stick it down. All right, one last piece. Now when this Mod Podge dries, it is going to make the foam core want to curl, which is the reason why we have the stir sticks glued to the back. That will prevent that from happening. I also should mention that this Mod Podge dries clear, so don't worry about it. It starts off white, but it'll dry clear. I'm going to take my ultrafine glitter, and while this Mod Podge is still wet, I'm just going to give it a little shake. And I'm just going to just let it sit here for about an hour to let some of the Mod Podge dry, and then when I come back, we'll finish this up. Okay, I'm back, and I'm putting the finishing touches on our peace sign, and I'm almost done. I went ahead and I've attached my white tags that I stamped out the letters P-E-A-C-E, and I attached them to a piece of colored cardstock, and then I've gone ahead and I've glued them onto this our background piece, and I've added a cute little different piece of ribbon or string to each one, and I have just gone around and put little dots of glue. This is really important that you instruct your child to use small dots of glue in this step. Really, you've got this beautiful project, and you really don't want to have an enormous puddle of white glue, which always happens. Trust me, I've done enough projects with children. The tendency is to take the glue bottle and just stand there and squeeze and squeeze and squeeze. So you really need to impress upon your child that right now is not the time to be using enormous piles of glue, that you really just want small dots of glue just to add some sequins and some other little sparkly things that you may have. I have some buttons, I have some snowflakes that I'm just adding. If you're familiar with my projects, you know that I love to have just that little finishing touch, just that little added bit of sparkle. Is you're going to take these double pointed tack, and about 4 inches in from either side, you're going to insert this tack into that kind of soft foam layer. You're going to push it down in, not all the way, and then you're going to pull it back out. You're going to take your white glue, and I actually found some of these little glue pens at Walmart. These are fantastic, and they just have plain old white glue in them, but I love them because they just have they can dispense a teeny little dot of glue, which is perfect right now. If all you have is your white glue bottle, that's absolutely fine too. So I've just put little dots of glue over the holes, and then I've reinserted the tack sort of inside the hole with a little bit of glue there. And I'm going to do the same thing here. Once that dries, that will be the perfect little loop to use for your string or your ribbon. And basically, we are there. You're just going to let this dry overnight, and then once everything's dried, you can add some string or some ribbon, or I use some raffia, and you can hang this up.